Welcome back. This is Wade Thomas with Aim to Win. Today I want to talk about how to achieve excellence. How do you really get your workforce and the people that work for you to get to that next level? And to start with, you really need to change that mindset of fixing flaws is the way to success. And this is something that we're taught growing up. We see it in the schools all the time. We see it in business with performance reviews. We really focus on what are your weaknesses? How can you get better? And that doesn't really work. The truth is, you cannot get to excellence by fixing your weaknesses. Today, I want to talk about how you really get there. So I want you to think about Shaquille O'Neal, the famous basketball player, dominant inside force, had a terrible, terrible weakness at shooting foul shots. Now, do you think Shaquille O'Neal would have become the same player if he had focused on fixing the foul shots and not focused on what made him good, which was to be that powerful inside force? No. So what I want you to think about is the key to excellence, to finding excellence in your people, is mastering the strengths. Play to their strengths. And you want to really get those strengths so that they're consistent, near perfect performance whenever they're utilized. So I want to go back to talking about Shaq. So Shaq, throughout his career, probably heard over and over and over again, foul shots, foul shots, foul shots. But what did he work on? He worked on the footwork. Sure, he was a great physical specimen, and he had some great natural abilities, but really he worked on his footwork, and that's what made him so effective, that nobody really cared that he shot 50% from the foul line. So think about that in your own organization. How can you apply this as a leader to your people? Well, the first thing is be aware of what their strengths are. And this awareness is really a two-way street. First of all, your people need to be self-aware. They need to know what their own strengths are. They need to know what in their career they're passionate about and what they bring to the table. And there's a lot of different assessments you can use for that. I encourage you to consider that. But really just take some time and work with your people and understand where they are strong. We all spend time thinking about where they are weak. Flip that around and think about where they are strong. Secondly, you want to match their strengths to the needs. So often we put people in jobs and we only look at, what are our needs? Do they have the experience to just kind of get the job done? Well, think about the jobs in a different way. Think about a little bit less structured. Think about decentralizing decision-making. Allow your people to make decisions in their space, the areas where they have strengths. Also, consider moving people around by projects or by clients or by customers. We tend to get locked into you have this territory or that territory, or you have this job or that job, and we're not going to pull you out of that. Think about it differently. Think about, a certain client that needs a certain strength set. Look at your team, look at your roster, and figure out how you can deploy that. This is going to take a little bit of thinking outside the box, but it's well worth it. The next step is you want to actively develop the strengths of your people. So again, I've seen so many development plans in my career where we look at, okay, what's the gap? What can't they do? And what experiences and training can we do to make them better at those gaps? I want you to think about it differently. Think about those strengths. Think about what do they do really well and how can we grow those? And oh, by the way, somebody's strengths today might not be their strengths tomorrow. So it's very, very important to keep up to date. Things change. And that's really where you should be focusing your time, your development time, and your development resources. Finally, it really takes a focus on coaching. And again, we'll go back to Shaq. Shaq throughout his career received a lot of great coaching. The coaching, maybe got some on foul shots here and there, but really the coaching was on that footwork, that rebounding, the positioning, the things that really made him great, and constantly pointing it out. Because remember, what you want to do with strengths is you want to get it to a consistent, near perfect state. And finally, the very last thing, stepping away from managing the individual strengths, but looking at your whole organization, you really want to ingrain the strengths-based attitude into your culture. So many cultures out there, we've all seen them, are really focused on what you're doing wrong. How are you going to improve next time? What mistakes did you make? Flip that around again. Flip it around for everybody. Get in that mindset where you're really concentrating on who's strong and what, you're motivating that, you're rewarding that, and you're really focusing your development efforts on that. Think about that message and think about how you can make a strengths-based culture and really work with your team to develop those strengths. Until next time, have a productive week.